Welcome back to episode 41.
Damn, dude, so aggro. Relax. Oh my God.
Welcome back to episode 41.
All right, guys. Episode 41. We're here with three folks.
This is going to be about shopkeep and just general buying and
selling, trading, whatever, right?
How to do it the proper way and tales of a shopkeep.
Oh, I like that.
I'm Brendan.
Still Jay.
Who do we got here?
Mike.
I'm Michael. I've been featured before a while ago.
Couple times.
I'm Nick. I'm new here.
Howdy, y'all. It's Tito, that watch boy.
Yeah, you guys know the unofficial, official intern is back.
Boys.
back.
I'm bringing back
baby.
my voice. I'm bringing back the magic.
You guys got any Instagrams you want to plug right now, too?
Go ahead, do it early so that way.
Yeah,
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Come on, Michael, drop yours.
Okay, we're plugging in. Follow the new business venture IG at Archangel Authentics. We're talking sneakers, apparel, designer, watches, jewelry, all drippy things for your drippy kings.
Ooh,
I like that.
What the fuck?
Wow.
I like that.
And the special thing about Michael is that he is...
Well, before we go into that, how about
wrist-
we wrist check, right?
Okay, wrist check.
All
Let's
right,
do it.
Bren, go ahead. You open up with something strong.
Okay, so I got a Rolex that's modded to look like a Seiko. This thing is the Seiko SPB 143.
Shout out to all of you Seiko modders who are practically just making fakes instead of just calling them what they are.
I'm doing it the other way, though.
I know, I respect that. I'm
bring
still
some
wearing.
peace.
I'm wearing the Starbucks still, the Summit. It's what I was wearing when we had dinner.
Cool. What do you got, Michael?
What do you got, Mike?
All right, so I'm wearing my favorite Steel Sports Rolex.
Let me see that thing.
16570 Explorer 2 Polar Swiss made solid end links 2000 year Super Luma Nova.
Whoa.
That's how you know he works at a fucking shop.
Yeah, he knows how to sell.
He knows how to sell.
Oh, shit.
This dude fucking sold me on a watch I didn't even know I wanted.
What's the significance of the P serial?
The P serial. So all those people asking, box and papers, what year? You know, just check the serial between the lugs at 6 o'clock. Yep. Go on bobswatches.com and they have a serial numbered, and boom, you got it. You know your year.
Awesome.
That's true.
And
Go
next,
ahead, Nick.
I got a 2013 Omega Railmaster, and I don't know the serial number because it's like it's like 7 numbers long, and there's like a point in there, and I just
It's like-
can't for the life of me remember it.
He said there's probably a 4.
Yeah, you know, there's a bunch of bullshit
Any
in there.
significance on 2013?
No, that's just when it was made,
Okay.
and absolutely no. I mean, it's like pretty mid-year, you know, no significance.
Mid-year? Mid?
No, it was a mid-year, you know.
Yeah. Dude was also about to go to a quinceañera today, bro.
Yeah, I skipped out on that, and I'm here.
He was going to go to a quinceañera of
it was
a
the
girl
first date.
he has never met, dude.
oh, okay.
No, the girl he was dating is not the quinceañera.
Yeah, I was
like,
about
that
to
would
say,
be
this
wrong.
is-
No, that would
This
be.
I was like, I don't know why this is a joke right now.
I'm a dog. I'm a dog, but I'm like not that much of a dog, you know.
That's what my mom thought was happening. Today we had lunch with my mom, and my mom was like, wait, you're meeting the 15-year-old quinceañera girl?
I was like,
Jesus.
no, yeah. And she was incredibly alarmed by that, but
All right, how about you, Tito? What are you
Tito,
wearing?
what do you got?
So I'm wearing an actual dog.
Damn.
I'm wearing the Black Dial Explorer 2. It's,
Is it a P serial?
I actually believe it is. It's 1995, right? What is it, Michael? Tell me. Can you clarify? It is a 16. What is it? 16570. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
no holes.
No, it has.
It's Tito's is a little special. So we got some service dial, service hand, service crystal.
Rolex service.
It's a little modernized. He also has Super Luma Nova.
No, I hated this piece, and then I saw it and I put it on. And I absolutely fell in love with it. I just got it a couple days ago. So I'm loving
It's a
it.
great size. I like how it's smaller than the one that's out there now, because that one's way too big.
I couldn't do the
No one can-
42.
no one can.
And for everyone out there, if you're considering getting an Explorer 2 and you're like, it's a 40 millimeter right for me, it is. It 100% is.
And the new ones have the orange
Yeah.
GMT.
No,
and this
these
is
are
the
red. Yeah. Michael and
Yeah,
I, we
I
both
like
have
that
red
better.
hands. Gorgeous, man. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's so fucking.
My
Yeah,
first
actually.
Rolex Steel Sports.
I mean, it's badass.
Dude,
Like really.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys. Thank you.
Yeah, Good. Congrats on that.
Congrats. When you say that you really love it, is it you really love it, so you're gonna flip it in 3 days, or
Pretty
what?
much. I mean, it's already sold, Jay.
Damn, the
It's
pre-sold.
already sold. You know, Michael gave me a good deal, and actually, you know, we're sitting here talking about Michael selling watches. Michael actually sold me this watch.
Oh,
Yeah,
Hey, you know what?
yeah.
We'll see how bad of a customer you were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're gonna find out.
So this is kind of like a two for one episode. We're going to talk about how you should go about buying and selling. And specifically, we have someone on the show, Michael,
Who
who works
works-
at a local watch shop called ATX Watches.
Thanks, by the way, for the sponsorship of this episode,
Yeah.
Vlad.
Vlad, thank you for the sponsorship. We'll
You're
be
gonna
picking
get
up.
invoiced.
Yep, you will. And Michael's going to tell us a few tales of the shop, you know, the kind of the behind the scenes, if you
And
will.
then afterwards, we're gonna be talking about buying and selling, because everyone here, probably maybe Nick, have you? Yeah, you bought shit. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So we've all bought and
We all
sold some
have-
shit.
Yep. We all
be
have
it
our own.
watches or some other, some other medium, right?
But yeah, and we'll talk about all the different channels. We have a Tito here, who's the official shill for a Moda group.
So he's probably gonna be plugging Moda
Yeah, this man is
like
a Moda shill.
fucking crazy. This dude's-
100%. We're gonna get into a serious discussion
are.
about why Moda is the best place to buy Rolex.
Thanks. Also, sponsorship by Moda. You will be fucking invoiced.
Yes.
Yeah, but Deem's about to get invoiced. He
You know,
didn't even
if
know.
he hears this episode, he's probably going to ban us all. He likes the power trip. Yeah.
Yeah, again, Michael just got unbanned. Dude's about to get banned again.
So why don't we start off with Michael's tales from the shopkeep?
So, yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. How do you?
You
Where
want
do you start with that?
Well, how did you get to working at a local shop? What was the 5-step process? How'd you get involved?
All right, so there were multiple steps with this process, and to be transparent from the start, there was no opening for a position. You know, sometimes you just got to make things
Make a
kind
hole.
of happen.
Make a
So the
hole.
first process was meeting Vlad, and thanks to the watch community, I had known Tito, and we set up. The Watch Boys went to a get together event at the shop. That was my first time in the shop.
The Seiko one?
No. This was a smaller.
You were
group.
actually there. Remember the watch party?
No, I absolutely.
You
do
don't
not.
remember? It was a whole thing with Vlad. We had food. There was watches. We had drinks. Laszlo was there. We were all there.
I don't remember.
And you were there.
I believe it.
Yeah.
You were in a tank top. I remember.
That's
you were-
like
Okay.
that's my usual attire,
Yeah.
so it's
I
really hard
remember
to.
the slides.
That was back when you had a solid gold AP.
Oh, that's forever.
Yeah.
All right, so Michael, go on. Sorry.
Yes. So
And
I,
what actually take it a step back? Why don't you just tell like the folks what ATX Watches is?
so ATX Watches. It's a local pre-owned luxury watch store in Austin. Central area, 35th Street. It's carries a lot of stuff from vintage to modern, and we love everything. We also have in-house watchmakers. We do all types of repair, from simple battery changes, bracelet adjustments, to full servicing on Rolex, Patek, you name it, everything. We've got stuff serviced 100+ years old. It can be a
Wow.
little tricky, but we get the job done, and we're happy to do it. Everyone there are watch enthusiasts at heart, and so we're very happy to accommodate anyone along their watch collecting journey, whether it's their first watch or their 100th watch. We love them all, so come on by. Very chill environment.
Damn.
So
yeah,
are the watchmakers who don't speak English also into horology?
They are, and it's actually it's very wholesome sometimes.
No, I mean I meant
yeah.
that seriously.
Recently, one of our watchmakers, he kind of fell in love with our Seiko. I had a Seiko 5 GMT I personally owned, that was in the case, and he didn't realize it was mine. And again, this is a chill environment, so he borrowed it, not knowing it was not the shop, and he just kind of took it and wore it. And
Yeah.
Vlad was like, so he took your watch. He didn't realize, but I'll pay you for the watch. But he loves it, and he.
fuck.
Yo, fine.
He
hey,
just took your watch.
Like I said, it's a very chill
Was that the
environment.
initiation process? You gotta be hazed a little bit. Yeah.
You know
took
what-
your watch. You just gotta deal with it.
what's so good about that is that He just didn't say a word to fucking anyone, dude.
He just took that
But
shit.
his boss bought him the watch.
And
Yeah.
Vlad's your boss. He's the owner of the shop.
Yes,
he's
Vlad-
actually been
He's a good
on
friend of ours,
episode,
and
what was it? Episode 3?
dude.
Yeah.
Very early on.
So, okay. So we kind of got some initiation phase. You got in there, and you've been working there how long now?
Almost about a year and a half. About a year and a
Oh,
half.
has it really been
Yeah.
that
Wow.
long?
So I guess
Holy shit.
picking up the multi-step process of being where I am now, it being a local shop. I was speaking to Vlad about just inventory, getting things a little modernized.
Yeah.
It's 2023. You want your presence online, social media,
So
website.
Is
and
it
things like
difficult
that.
running a shop like that in the modern day? I mean, because everything is so
Digital now.
digital.
Mhm.
No
Yeah.
one, it's a very niche market. Like, how is the business going?
Hold on. So, and considering ATX Watches did not have an online presence whatsoever at all until
This man.
so
yeah,
Luscious
and-
Lips took over.
and it's new too. So I mean, it was just a clock. So it was a clock shop since the 80s, and it's just mainly all clocks. We're talking cuckoo clocks, grandfather clocks, all types of different clock stuff. And then in 2020, so very recently, in all the the grand scheme of things, it became ATX Watches, where Vlad took over new ownership.
Sure.
So it was still very new, very fresh. There wasn't too much of that digital presence or just local know-abouts, because it was still, for a lot of people in the area, the old clock shop kind of thing.
Yeah.
People didn't know there were all these wristwatches and nice pieces in there. So we really had to kind of get that out of the community, reach these watch enthusiasts in Austin. Austin's a big city. I mean, there's plenty of people in the market, and get them to know about it, get them in, and hopefully
Sure.
do some business, whether it's just stopping by or making a purchase.
And
kind
it's
of
pretty
thing.
busy over there, right?
It's extremely busy.
Wow.
I remember when we were
wow.
there, dude. I think you were there with me, and it was like nonstop.
Nonstop customers coming in.
Yeah, sometimes there were some points earlier this year. I was running the shop. It was just me and Vlad's son, who actively helps us well. So Vlad wasn't there, and it was chaos. It was
Wow.
chaos, but in a good way.
Is
a
that
lot
because
of
it's
people came.
one of the few like actual like independent watch shops in town? You think? Or
Pretty
is-
much. I
yeah.
mean, yeah.
So everyone
there's-
just kind of goes there.
I mean, there's always the option of you can send a watch directly to a manufacturer, but that can take very long.
Right.
Sometimes the process can be tricky,
Right.
expensive as well.
Sure.
So it's one of those things where locally, anywhere in the central Austin or greater area, if anyone has any watch issue, you just walk in and
So what I found out earlier too, during dinner, you guys know Winston, or if you haven't, he's been a guest on our show, when we did the hot ones,
Yeah.
where we ate the fucking one chip challenge and fucking died. So Winston went to the shop, and Michael didn't know what Winston looked like, and Winston was there to go ahead, Mike.
Winston, I apologize. I'm very poor with my memory. So Winston came by, great gentleman. He brought his SKX 013, and he had, I believe he purchased a new Uncle Seiko solid link Jubilee bracelet for it and wanted to get it sized. We take care of that. That's no problem at the shop. It's a $20 flat rate charge. We do as many adjustments as you need, and further adjustments down the road for the watch we don't charge after the first time. I told this all to Winston in the shop. I didn't know it was Winston at the time, so
Yo, he fleeced him out of
and-
$20,
Did he,
bro.
did he pay?
he did. He did. And, but yeah, and I respect
lick, yeah.
I respect him for that, because he didn't come in with any I deserve special treatment attitude. He just came in like a normal guy, and I treated him like a normal guy.
Fuck that. You can miss me with $20 for a fucking bracelet change, dude.
How much do you guys charge for battery changes?
So for most watches, it's $25. It comes with a 1-year warranty, which it can,
That's steep.
Hey, you know what? Gotta keep the lights on, baby.
Yeah, that's
gotta
true.
keep the lights on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Hey,
and
if they're
honestly,
paying
it can be very worth it for. There are some digital watches that take legitimately 15 minutes to set. Oh, there's the
what the fuck?
the perpetual, like the Citizen perpetual calendars, and you have to like do
Oh, wow.
so many different settings. And we don't, I mean, we're not going to charge extra for. There's one time, you know, often that task becomes handed down to me because I'm the nice guy.
You're
and
on
I'm
the
not,
bottom of the totem
I'm
pole
not,
right
yeah,
now.
exactly.
You got people stealing your
too.
watches, you're doing battery changes. Throw it to Michael, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the watchmakers, they'll put the battery in and they'll be like, yo, you want to set this perpetual calendar digital watch? I'm like, I don't know how. So I pull up a YouTube video that's 15 minutes
Holy
long.
shit.
And I'll follow every single instruction and happily give it to the customer. You're all set. You're all set, sir.
So what other funny tales do you have? Any customers
Oh,
that have been
So-
difficult?
There's so
Before-
many.
Beforehand,
Before you get
before we move forward, because Michael sounds like a fucking amazing machine of work right now.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go ahead and read this. So their shop has 101 reviews on Google, 5 stars. They only have
Wow.
one fucking non-5-star review.
And wow, can you read that one? We
Yeah,
actually pulled
yeah.
this out of
So-
the bucket here.
It lacks depth on Google. And let me read you the review.
And start off with this. What's the star rating on this one?
This is a 2-star rating 4 months ago.
Okay, the only 2-star,
Only-
non-5-star.
Yeah. I'm 50-50 on this place.
Ooh.
I went in to get my dad's watch serviced before my wedding. Went in, explained the issue to one of the younger guys behind the counter, and they replaced the movement for $50 with no issues and quickly.
Okay.
The next day, the watch stopped working.
Uh-oh.
So I call, and the gentleman says to come back up there and they'll take another look at it. So I do. I go in, explain the issue, this time to a different guy, and without even opening the watch to inspect it, he tells me that they are going to have to replace the movement. The same movement that they just replaced 2 days ago. That this time it was going to be a couple of $100.
Oh. So did you watch the wrong YouTube video
Yeah,
on
what's
that
up with
one?
that?
Okay, I can give a full explanation on this, and I think it's actually very good. It was overall a learning lesson for the
Okay.
team at the shop, and it's one of those things where, honestly, in business, not everyone's going to be totally satisfied, and we just kind of have to accept that. So, as a preface, a gentleman comes. He has his father's watch, as mentioned, and it's this kind of probably 1980s, 1990s Elgin quartz watch. It's one of the ones, the homage to like a day-date looking things, because it's got like a Miyota movement in there. And the movement's kind of shot. You know, we tried a battery change, it's not working. It's just we need to replace the movement. And we have a lot of spare parts in the shop. I mean, we're talking like hundreds of watches, movements, and things like that. So typically, our standard procedure for this type of repair would be to order a brand new movement for that watch, wait for it to ship, you know, get it in, replace a movement, test it, give it to the customer. That can take about a week or so just with shipping. But, you know, we have parts and we wanted to, you know, kind of get this gentleman squared away as soon as possible without the wait. So what ended up happening, we found a spare part that was we found a spare movement, the exact movement we needed for the watch. And on site in about, you know, 30 minutes or less, we got that spare movement, installed it into his watch. It was working at the time. We said, all right, looks good. Gave it back to the gentleman and he was on his way. Unfortunately, when using spare parts, I mean, these are kind of electronic components. Things aren't always perfect, and you can't predict that, which is also why we warranty everything just in case hiccups happen, and that did happen in this case. So he comes back. He's, you know, understandably upset because, you know, it's only been a couple days. It's not working anymore. So he comes back, and I guess there was some type of miscommunication with the team because we went out of our standard procedure of ordering a new movement. So then he was quoted like a couple $100 to order a new movement, not use a spare part to get that fixed. And then after that, he kind of left, was upset, and then left a 2-star review. We reached out to him. First of all, I want to make it clear that the initial payment he gave for the repair, we refunded. So I mean,
Okay.
he wasn't down any money at all,
Aye.
and we reached
He
out.
failed to mention that in the
Yes,
review.
he did.
Wow.
And I want to make that clear. We did not take any money from. We gave him money straight back, and then we even offered personally. We sent him an apology letter and offered to fix the watch for him. We would get a new movement and things
For
like
free?
that for free.
Wow.
Yeah, we were, you know, we don't want our customers to be upset, you know, and
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if we're taking slight losses to, make amends with the customer, we'll do it.
Hey, you have enough business to be able to
That's
float
absolutely
that way too,
no problem for us. But he just kind of refused to come back and get that settled. And
He's
unfortunately,
suspicious.
Yeah. Maybe I feel like some people they leave a review and they're kind of too embarrassed to show up.
Yeah,
Because
that they were wrong.
they were kind of,
That they were.
they
a
made
part of it.
a whole
Scene.
Russell and the whole scene. And well, that's an interesting story. Well, thanks for getting to the bottom of that.
And then just a slight
me just-
add as well. So that 2-star review, again, the Google review name, it's not the actual person name.
Well,
So
yeah, it's like
it's an
bullshit name.
alias, and that always happens when anyone leaves has an issue. They never want to put their real name.
Wow.
It's always-
Cowards.
It's always hidden
Yeah.
behind an alias.
Wow.
Cowards. I have my fucking Google name on my Pornhub account.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to look that up later, see what you've been up to.
It's JG. You'll see it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. You can see my most recent liked. Be surprised. Maybe not. Maybe not. That's cool. So I want to get a little bit of a kind of story on, or not even story, just the buying process on a 2013 Railmaster specifically. How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know. Do we have anyone in the crowd?
Who has a 2013 Railmaster?
Unknown serial number.
So how did you come across that? How did you end
Well,
up buying
I was,
it?
I started getting into watches. Tito, actually. Tito over here.
Damn.
And I was interested, and, I wanted a little something. I just, got a new job, like a big boy job, right? And I was like, oh, I want, a nice watch. And, I was looking at brands, and I really, fell into Omega, and I was, researching all their stuff and just, spending time online, just, looking at different watches, seeing what I was into. And I don't know, this whole process took a long time, and finally I decided on a Railmaster, but I didn't like the new Railmasters.
You didn't like the denim one?
Yeah, no, it looks like shit. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but it looks
No,
like
it does.
it's bad. It's gross. And I went to an AD and I even tried it on. It's
Yeah,
just
that
like,
shit
ah,
sucks.
man, I've only seen this other dial online and but I can tell it looks so much better.
Uh-huh.
But the sizing is the same, and I was looking at the bracelet and everything, and it's if it fits me and if it looks all right, just I don't like the dial,
Just keep it.
it's gonna be all right. The older generation of them is gonna be good. And so I was looking around for a while online, and I bought this watch off eBay.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. Tell us the experience.
The experience, there was probably at any given moment 10 of them on
Okay.
eBay.
Yeah.
10 of them available on eBay. And I'm most of them from Japan. And I was cycling through all these, and I was definitely sketched out of buying something off of eBay, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
uh,
Especially with that much money in
with-
line, right?
yeah, I
And,
mean, I
from
paid
Japan, too.
I paid $2,600 for this.
Mm-hmm.
Which was, if you've never bought a nice watch before, that's
That's a lot of money.
even,
Yeah.
It's
even
daunting.
Even if you've bought a nice watch, man, that's still a lot of
Yeah.
money.
Yeah,
$2,600. You're
absolutely.
yeah, I want to make sure I'm not getting some
Yeah, that's right.
Franken watch, right?
That's right.
So I kept looking, and I don't know. There's just new listings. Every week, basically, it'd be a new batch of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd look through, and some of them were, had bullshit and looked like they were kind of fucked up, and I would also send them all to Tito and be like, Tito,
Nice.
which of these look good?
I swear to God, I think I remember, if I recall correctly, Tito even posted it on the group getting opinions.
Nice.
Yeah, I had to do my due diligence.
No, he was helping me out because Tito's the man that got me into this whole thing, right? So he's
Uh-huh.
I better
So if-
not fuck him,
Also, if it fucked up, he's to blame, right?
Hey, but
Absolutely, he was my guidance on this whole thing.
No liability here. No.
So why the Railmaster? You're into trains?
I love trains. Actually, I have
Bren also
I
loves
have,
trains.
I actually have a tattoo of a train on me.
Do you
That's
actually?
another story, but
Do you actually?
I
Or are you
do.
trolling me?
I'm not trolling you.
What? Wait, no, fuck that. Let's get into the story now.
Nah, but
Uh-oh, what's the story?
no, there's not a real story, but I have a tattoo of a train on my
On your dick?
stomach.
Okay, within a sentence or two, what's the story?
It was based on this like it's like poem I read like a long
By
time
who?
ago. Rimbaud and
Rimbaud.
French.
It's the breaks, I'm pretty sure.
But
Brembo.
I
Yeah, Cadillac has those brakes. If you buy a nice Cadillac, they'll come with those brakes.
but I always like trains, and I don't know. I think I just like a black dial.
You know what?
I wanted a black dial because I was like, Tito has several watches. But
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna spend this much money like often, right? Like I want a
Mhm.
watch that I can wear
all the
in
time.
all scenarios, right?
Yeah.
Like I can like dress it up a little bit, but also like
Be able
I
to
can wear
it.
this on my wrist like just day-to-day bullshit.
Yeah, and then
it's not
still
too
look
much.
good dressed up.
And but I can also like wear it to the lake or the beach or something.
It's
and,
an
like,
everyday
got-
watch. Yeah.
Yeah, like and black dial looks good. It's not too flashy. It's not too, I wanted for my first watch something that was just like a daily driver, right? And I don't know, I just settled on the Railmaster.
I think it's a fantastic first watch because my
Yeah.
first watch was bullshit. So
I was actually just about to point that out. Like everyone's first watch, like all of us who are like have been into watches, like my first watch wasn't anything near an Omega
Fuck no.
Railmaster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, geez.
Mine
So
was a
I really
fucking
think he knocked it
Seiko
out of the
5.
park. And he found that himself. I didn't tell him
That's
that model
nuts.
or I didn't tell him that brand. He found it.
wow, that's actually surprising. So my first watch was fucking Seiko 5 for $49.99, I think, on eBay, or not eBay, on Amazon back then.
My first watch was a counterfeit Bell and Ross that my dad got me
I
from
remember that.
Chinatown.
Yeah.
Hey, that actually sounds kind of cool, not gonna lie.
It was until the
Yeah.
strap broke.
But I mean, so the process on eBay, was there any did you have to pay customs or?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Huh,
But it
surprising.
was from this like seller on eBay that, I was like obviously like looking at the picture of the watches, but also like looking at the sellers like
Yeah.
pretty.
Because you don't buy the watch, right? You buy the seller.
Yeah, it was like, good star reviews and like recent good reviews and this was it was like it was like an actually have like brick and mortar in Japan.
Oh, I
Okay.
see.
And so I was able to like find them on the internet and like find their like actual store reviews, right?
that's a
And
good-
stuff like that. So I was like,
yeah.
okay, this is like a legitimate business. It's not just an online business.
Mhm.
Like and then I sent the pictures to Tito, and this is like right after I think eBay started doing their like authenticity,
check.
you
Oh,
know.
okay.
So that gave me like I don't know, like I haven't read too much into the whole eBay authenticity because I'm kind of scared to, but that just came out and I was like, yeah, like I'm good, you know.
You're covered.
So I went for it and it had like box and papers and everything too. So I
Oh,
ordered
wow.
it, and then in like 2 weeks it was here.
Wow. So,
Success story.
Success story. So-
It was successful. But I think it took me like a couple months, maybe like 2 months of like, all right, this is the watch I've settled on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And like, I'm going to just wait until I find something that looks good. Seller looks good. Like everything checks out.
So would you recommend eBay as a safe place for someone to buy a watch? And if so, or if not, what would you rate that out of a 10?
Yeah. I think if you're willing to like be patient and put in the time and like wait for new stuff to come up, and like if you have like a group of people that can help like double check, right? Because if you're like looking for a watch and you're excited about it and you have the money to spend, you could like easily jump at the first thing that comes up that like the pictures look okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're willing to like be patient about it and wait for the right like deal and also seller to pop up, and I think with the authenticity guarantee, like it's an all right, it's a good experience. Got there
Rating it.
quick. Yeah, I would give it like a 8 out of 10.
Okay.
8 out of 10. Hey.
Nick, something I always wanted to ask you was what made you invest? Like for all of us, our first watches were, $100 bucks, $150. What really made you dive into that watch world? What was it about? Because about all of us that are into watches, we don't think about this kind of stuff, but I think that it's really interesting to think about. What really caught your eye about watches?
Yeah,
And
why
did
fuck would you want to spend over $2,000
Yeah,
on a first watch?
2.6K eBay, your first watch. How do you get there? Talk to us.
I don't know. I think I just like I said, like I was at this point in my life where I'd like gotten like my first like job that was it makes good money, and like was, I was proud of it, and I didn't have anything like that, and I wanted something that was with me every day, like a reminder of like
that you're a boss.
that I'm a boss, that
That
exactly.
You run the train.
Yeah,
now.
that's
That
right.
I run the goddamn train.
Damn.
I'm the rail master.
Oh my
Is that
I
what
love
you
that.
say in bed?
Oh my god, dog. Yo, he be pulling the tricks there. He's like, I'm the real master.
Master.
Holy shit, Nick.
So Tito, you have a different platform that you like to use, right?
Let's go ahead. Hold on.
Guys.
So beforehand, so Tito is very passionate about this fucking group, and he also shares it with our group, with our West 512 group. And I mean, to be fair, in my opinion, I think they do have pretty good deals, but I have not seen anyone shill it as hard as Tito. So thank you for the sponsorship episode, Vadim.
Yeah, Vadim, thank you. I love your text messages that you send me like every other day about like power hour and stuff. That's pretty cool. I like that. I'm too afraid though to tell them to take me off because I feel like they'll ban me from the group
Dude,
if I do. If I show
definitely.
any sort of like disobedience.
100%.
So tell us,
Yeah.
why
Yeah,
is
man.
Moda
So
so great?
what is
So-
this group and why?
Yeah.
So before I tell you all about the group a little bit, I just want, for the record, before I joined WIS 512, no one was in Moda. All right.
I remember
And then
that.
when
Okay.
I joined WIS 512 and I told everyone, now everyone's in Moda. So that should speak a little bit to how great it really is. Now, Moda doesn't pay me, but I
They
would
should.
gladly send you an invoice along with Watch Cringe. So keep an eye out for that Watch Boy invoice. No, but jokes aside, guys, listen. I don't make a lot of money, but I love Rolex. I love Omega. I love watches. And more than anything, I love a good deal. And a guy like me, where else am I going to find a good deal? It's hard to go. I mean, I can't go into my local AD and buy a Rolex. But if I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10K, I can definitely get myself a nice Rolex off Moda. And hey, guys, that's a huge deal. I'd rather I have 2 Rolex now, and 2 years ago I had none. For me, it's all about getting the watch and experiencing it. And Moda, I've looked at eBay, I've looked at local shops, I've looked at forums, and for me, Moda has just been the lowest prices. And if you're smart about it, you won't get screwed over. And I think it's just a great way to go about it, specifically if you're on a budget, balling on a budget. So that's where I come from. That's where I come from.
And the group, for people listening that don't know it, it's MODA. It's on
Yeah,
Facebook.
it's a Facebook group. It's a Facebook group.
And how does the buy process work? What's it in the sell? Like someone lists something. How does it work?
So I can actually tell you how to not get scammed. It's very easily. It's very easy. It's very easy. First of all, like we've all been talking about, you need to buy the seller, right? If it's their first time, if they just joined Moda yesterday and they have a Submariner for 5K, first of all, they don't even let that stuff fly. You're not even going to see that stuff on the page. But that should tell you, if you were to see something like that, that should be a red flag. So first of all, you got to know your red flags, all right? If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Second of all, you need to do a legit check. Before you buy off Moda, I did a legit check. So I bought my Datejust off Moda. I paid $7K for a 116234. Fluted bezel, Jubilee, blue dial, Roman numeral dial. Gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. I mean, tell me where else can you find that for 7K? I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. But before I bought that piece, I did a legit check on the entire Facebook group, and I said, hey, is this guy good? I'm going to buy. And I had like 5 or 6 responses. Not only that, I hit up a personal friend who was also in Moda. I said, hey, does this guy look like a scammer? Am I safe to buy this? He said, no, he's totally fine. You're good to go. I wired that man $7K off a Facebook group, which if you tell that to some people, that would be absolute insanity. But I trusted the process. I got my watch within 2 days. They usually overnight it. Everything is insured. Lots of these people are just good people, businessmen wanting to sell watches, wanting to get watches to you for a good price.
Okay. And what's the recourse if something goes wrong in the process? Can you
Is
reach
there,
out?
yeah, I was wondering. So is there like a
Is there any
safety net?
guarantee? Is there a safety net? Well, first of all, your biggest safety net is due diligence. You got to do a legit check. And what's a legit check? If you don't know what a legit check is, it's where you literally post this guy's profile and you say, "Hey, has anyone done business with this person? Does anyone know this guy?" Most of these sellers have been in here for years. You know, this isn't small time stuff. These aren't sellers who are just starting out. These are sellers who have been in the game. Lots of them have brick and mortar stores, and they're just not able to move stuff at retail prices. So it's a wholesale group. So it's actually a dealer group. I probably should have mentioned that when we first started talking about it. It's a dealer group. So your prices are going to be at wholesale prices. But yeah, you just got to do your due diligence. And as far as safety nets, they have this whole thing where if someone vouches, they'll pay for that deal if it goes wrong. Now, to me, that's a little extreme. I don't like to put my fate in others. I think that's really cool that there's a safety net. I think that's really cool that there's vouchers. But you need to do your own research. You need to you need to know what you're talking about, who you're sending money to. I felt comfortable with this person. I had multiple people telling me it was okay. And within 2 days, I got the watch as described. Great experience. And this happens multiple times a day off Moto. I mean, they're selling at least, I don't want to like say anything, but they're probably selling $250,000 every week through that group.
Wow.
Damn, Tito really should be paid for this.
Yeah.
I mean, if you would like to send that invoice again, it'll be in your mail. I'll go ahead and send that in there. But no, look, again, I'm a bargain hunter. Everything I do, I do it for a good deal because simply I can't afford retail price. Shout out to my boy Archie Luxury. You know, we're always looking for deals, and just like
you know
Archie,
what? I'm curious. How is he doing? Right, because he got
yeah.
all his shit
What's the
jacked.
latest
so
update?
so just a quick update on Archie. Archie recently got robbed for his 300,000 Australian dollar collection.
So about 50,000 USD.
Yeah, that's $1 not doing very well. They like to describe it as not real money, but anyways, he hasn't found his watches, but he's doing great. His little YouTube stream is doing great. He's trying his best. He recently got a Maserati Daytona two-tone. Do y'all know what that dial is? It's the blue dial with the Arabic numerals.
Yeah, with the red, right?
Yeah, exactly right. It's a racing
What
dial
the
almost
fuck?
with the blue.
How?
I mean, you know, Archie makes like 200 to 300K off YouTube daily live streams. I don't know if you knew that.
What the fuck am I working?
Because we haven't taken off that high yet.
Yeah, you could probably do better, honestly.
Holy shit. Yeah, like, because my wife's extremely on, like...
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
gonna prop her
exactly.
up from the show. She's like a showgirl
Yeah.
for the
What
show.
the fuck?
That's
Wait,
pretty.
so he picked up a Tona?
Yeah, no. Not only that, he also got a Bluesy, and he has a Patek Calatrava.
Since he's been robbed.
Since he's been
picked all
robbed.
this stuff
Now,
up.
this is all
so
coming
maybe
from...
some insurance money was at play there? or
Not
what?
yet, because if you know anything about home insurance, there's limits to jewelry.
Yeah.
So he actually has a limit of 2K for watches. So he's only getting 2K for that. This all came from a super collector who gave him a 5-year interest-free loan, basically gave him the watches
shark.
and said, "Hey, pay me. You know,
So
pay me
he's
within
doing
the next
a
5 years."
payday loan on
He's
Archie
doing a
Luxury.
payday loan on Archie, dude.
He's doing a
100%.
bridge loan on him.
But it's
Bro.
5-year interest free. He's not gonna. He's a super collector. He's a friend of Archie. He's a friend of the channel. He just wants to see Archie with some nice pieces.
Dude, what's it called? Damn, $2,000 for... I mean, that's why you don't use a home policy for your jewelry.
You
you know?
gotta
Exactly.
have to-
That's
Well,
why you
that was
gotta-
the biggest criticism.
why you
That's why
use
you
wax.
use Wax Collect.
Wax Collect. 1-800 Wax Collect. Get your insurance now, today. Free quotes through Bazabadine.
Through B. Zabadine. That's true. One of the biggest proprietors of Wax. Don't know if he invested in it, but
Wax,
that's
wax,
for him to
wax.
disclose and me to not say anything about.
Yeah. So that's a great. Thank you for wrapping that up. And
Yeah, no, he's
sharing
doing
with
great.
us.
He's doing great, guys. I'm a fan of Archie. I know not everyone is a fan of Archie, but hey, if,
If you
have
don't
some
like
extra
Archie,
time, check him
fuck
out.
you.
He's a cool guy.
I think my favorite video clip from him is when he's in Heathrow and he's
Oh,
getting
yes.
very
Dude,
frustrated.
he's in
public.
London just fucking dying,
Just-
dude.
Yeah, outside in public, just swearing to the
yeah.
heavens. It's pretty funny.
I love
You
it.
should watch it if you guys have a.
Paul Pluto's a brilliant man.
Okay, well, so there's other groups too
Yeah.
that
So
maybe we can talk about, Jay.
for me, so back when I was active in vintage Rolex, I spent a lot of time in VRF, and I also sold on Watch Exchange. I actually sold the fucking 1675 through Watch Exchange back then. And that was, although I know that Watch Exchange has changed now, when I was using it, it was a much smaller community. But I've never had any issue. Given I did had a bit of a reputation already, so I never had to worry about not getting paid because fuck you, pay me. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, because back then I was extremely active in our watches. I was known to also have like a group that I was running. I had already sold, I think, a total of maybe 50 grand off watch exchange alone. And I had no fear kind of thing because it's like, hey, obviously they know me. It's like, you pay me, wire me. If I don't get it, I don't deal with you. Not an issue. And same thing with the VRF. For VRF, I was dealing with parts. So VRF, for those that don't know, is Vintage Rolex Forums. And it's kind of an offshoot of TRF. And it's a pretty good spot if you're looking specifically for vintage because you can get your inserts, your dials, your MK1s, MK2s, MK3s, your Bart Simpsons, etc., there. And it's been pretty good for me. Since then, though, since years had passed, I've slowed down a lot on selling. I've been more a true collector, I guess, to the sense of the word. Because back then I would get something, I would flip it the next day, like some people that we know. But this time around, I'm not. I'm a true collector, I feel.
Okay. So you're a reformed
I'm
collector. You're
I'm reformed.
yeah. You
'Cause,
get
I
your
mean,
life back together.
I was
now.
obviously who, like back then, I am who I hate now. Back then.
Wow.
Hey, it is what it is, it's part of the game. And that honestly that afforded me the chances to get the watches I
That
have
you-
now.
Yeah, that you really truly
That I truly
that-
appreciate.
exactly. And like now you know when to buy something. You're buying it because you truly,
Yeah.
honestly like it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I like the Starbucks. Honestly, my first reaction is that I wasn't gonna keep it. I mean, you know that. I told you that.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I mentioned that even on the show. And ever since I got it, I picked it up, never took it off.
Yeah, there's something about it. Huh?
Something about it, yeah. And just for, transparency's sake, if I had won a mad one, I'm flipping that hoe. Dude, I mean, why? It's 3 grand. It's an easy walk away right now. It's 55. Next week, it's 45.
Yeah.
I appreciate what Max is doing. I think that the whole everyone being able to get it eventually, love that.
Yeah.
Saul missed his chance, dude. He could have sold that shit for 12 grand.
I thought he did.
He didn't. I think not for 12. I think he sold it for 8.
Yeah. We got to tag Max and this.
Yeah, tag Max.
And Cedric, right?
Yeah. So what other spots do you know? Oh,
So-
sorry. Hold on. One more.
Okay.
Austin Craigslist is one. You can get some watches off Craigslist. Oh shit! Hold on.
Okay. Let's hear the Craigslist
Yeah,
stories.
Mike. Because I was
The
just fucking
Craigslist-
joking. Like, dude, I didn't think anyone would actually have bought a watch from Craigslist. What's up?
So, Mike, tell us
Hello,
about
world.
the Craigslist Chronicles.
I have 2 Craigslist Chronicles. One pretty all right, and one not so all right.
Give me the
which
not
was
all right
another-
one.
Well, the all right, I'll do the all right one real quick. Essentially, I browsed on my phone all the time, and I didn't think anything. I wasn't expecting much. It's Craigslist. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm searching, watch brands on Craigslist. Throw an Omega in the search bar, and a quartz 41 millimeter Seamaster blue. It looks just like the James Bond, but it's the quartz version. Pops up. Full set. A set almost. I mean, in box, cards, and all that, and good condition. And I believe original asking was 1,700 or 1,800, something like that, which was fair.
Yeah.
And then I offered, hey, would you take 1,500? That was a number I was comfortable with, and he agreed. We met at the shop, and I'm
At
checking.
Vlad's?
Yes,
Was this when you were already working for Vlad, or was this before?
I was working at the shop, but not as heavily because
I see.
currently I'm there 5 days a week. This was more like 2 to 3 days a week, but I had involvement. So I meet him at the shop real quick, check out the watch. I realize the quick set date is not working. That's an issue. That's got to be a repair thing. So I'm telling the guy he didn't notice. He's not really a big watch person, so he just wasn't aware. Eventually, we talk back and forth. We talk about comps as far as repair quotes, and we settle on, I believe, 1,300 or so. because of the issue that was not disclosed. And he had some medical expenses he had to pay, and the money was going to help him. He was fine taking that.
So that's how you took advantage of him, basically.
I did not. I mean,
Nasty.
no advantage. I did pay the shop to fix it, so that the discount just went towards getting it to the condition it was supposed to be.
So that was a win.
That was
right?
a win.
What's the second story?
The second one. So this is a learning lesson I want all listeners to potentially learn from.
Here we
so they don't have to go through what I went through.
Here we go.
And it involves this same Seamaster I purchased. So I see, I'm scrolling on Craigslist Omega again. I'm a big Omega fanboy, and I see the watch that at the time I really wanted, triple date, Speedmaster reduced in silver. Description: for sale or trade. Okay, I like the watch, and I have this Quartz Seamaster. I messaged the seller. Hi, I have this Quartz 41 Seamaster reference number, send him photos, full set. Are you interested in trading? So the seller with the triple date Speedy agrees, and we meet at the shop for this trade. I check out the watch, and it's nice, but in the photos of the listing, the Speedmaster was in the correct red Omega box. Seller shows up. It's not in that Omega box. It's in a Omega service pouch, which, it's not what I'm expecting, but that's fine. Okay, I really like the watch. I want it for personal use, so, I'm not wearing a box. So I don't pay it any mind. We're going back and forth. He checks out my Seamaster and everything, and I'm expecting to do this trade. And out of nowhere, he's like, all right, so how much money were you thinking of adding on top? And this was not discussed. So initially, I'm quite upset. I'm expecting a straight even trade, and I honestly should have been just told him up front. There was no talks about added money on top. The way we communicated was pointing towards this being an even trade. But eventually, we went back and forth, and I let my emotions get the better of me because I personally wanted the Speedmaster. I ended up running to the bank, withdrawing $250 to add on top to do the trade. And, I wasn't too knowledgeable about prices at the time, but in summation, the watch I had, the Seamaster, value was around maybe $1,800 to $2,000 for the condition with box and papers. His ended up being watch only. That watch is around $1,800 to $1,900, so it should have been fairly even. But then I still ended up giving him $250.
What?
And it just left a bad taste in my mouth. And then I realized I was informed afterwards that the seller has been known to use similar tactics in dealings before, and since then I've just
Wow.
respectfully.
Who the fuck is the seller, bro?
So that's why ATX is so popular, because ATX Watches is so popular, because everyone, it's like an easy mark. We come by and we can.
Easy flip.
Yeah.
So
just kidding.
damn.
So yeah, who is it? You
Who
want
is
to
this
call
guy?
this guy out?
Yeah, call him. You know what? Yeah, call him out, man.
And I cannot call him out.
He's
Because,
professional.
I'm
too
too professional.
Don't worry.
He's not
and
like us
He'll
scum.
fucking share it with us, and we'll call that bitch out. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
That's so scummy.
That is scummy.
and after I did follow up with him, I texted him afterwards asking, hey, do you have the box for the watch that was in the photo?
Oh man.
And I just never got a
It's-
reply back.
Yeah, it's almost as scummy as saying that you'll buy a Harley for 4,000 and then you show up and haggle down to 3,500.
Oh, almost. and then walking away with a bike that is worth much more. Trying to think what else.
Well, I guess I'll do my little story.
Yeah, where have
I'll
you
give-
bought and shit?
So Watch Exchange, of course. Sometimes you'll find in some of these offshoot Facebook groups, and they all operate the same. So if you're in a watch trading Facebook group, they have the same thing that Tito was saying, where you do kind of a reference check.
It's more of a marketplace though, right?
No, this sometimes they incorporate the marketplace in, but it's still like a group. So they'll like how it works is they'll just post a posting on the group. Sometimes it can be like marketplace enabled or whatever. So one time I was in this, I think it's called Vintage Watches group. It's like a huge one. You can find some really good deals there.
Yeah.
So I found one for a Hoyer Daytona, and at the time, Rolex let them use the name Daytona.
Back then.
Yeah, back then, and it's this really cool, like integrated, bracelet type of looking, vintage chronograph. And the thing runs, it's missing, I think it's missing a crown or something. But anyways, this guy had put it up for $700 and the listing went crazy.
700? I'm pretty sure those are worth more than 700.
Yeah. In like a good condition, they're worth like around $2,000.
Okay.
And this had a ghost style. It was like the more coveted variant because there's like a blue one and then there's like a green gold. So the one so everyone's going crazy because he's only listing it for $700. And everyone's like, oh, I'll buy this now. Is it still there? I must have been like the last one to respond. And I must have been the first one he read.
Because it's at the very top.
Because at the very top. So then I was like, I'll do it for $500.
Oh, jeez. Is this an old man?
This is an old dude. And he's like, sure. How does this go down? I was like, well, you send me your PayPal, I'll pay it, and then you can ship it. And he's like, what's your address? I give him my address. And then he sends me the shipping label. He's like, all right, it's been shipped. I was like, I didn't pay you yet. This is interesting. I have the power to make this a really bad experience for him. If
as a learning lesson.
As a
learning lesson.
Yes, because maybe he'll do it again for $3,000. So it's justified if you screw him over,
Jesus Christ, dude.
But no, I ended up paying him right away.
500?
Yeah, the 500, and it's an amazing deal for 500.
You still have it?
Yeah. And
did you ever get it repaired?
I'm still looking for the right. I think you have a guy.
Yeah.
I need to get the right person.
G told us it's the dude that has like all this vintage Ewer shit.
I need to get it to the right Hoyer.
Is it Hoyer?
Hoyer, I think.
I call it Ewer.
Whatever. But that's the thing. It's like you have these groups, and there's all different ones too. Like if you're into military watches, there's a military issue only group that's pretty big, and there's a lot of good deals that happen there. So there's really like a Facebook group for every kind of subgenre of watch that you can find out there.
Interesting.
So it's pretty cool. And then I will say just tips on online dealing, not only to reiterate what Tito said and what Jace has said about doing your due diligence and doing a reference check.
Buying the seller, not the watch.
Buying the seller, not the watch. But it's also about your payment, okay? So a lot of people that are scamming right now, and if this is very important if you're a seller, is that you could do a PayPal friends and family.
They can still revert it.
And if they fund that transaction with a credit card, they can revert it.
Because the credit card
has the
company will
protection.
charge back.
So that's why a lot of people are only taking crypto and wires. Those are the only two solid ways you can get paid. Now, if the buyer is like someone that's been around, then sure, do the whole.
He's known, yeah.
Do the whole thing.
But I mean, in all honesty, it's just wire. Wire's just so fucking good, dude. No fees.
Well, yeah, no. Oh, for the seller, yes. For the
seller,
buyer,
yeah.
you gotta always. There's always that
for the seller, there's no
$15,
fees.
whatever. Yeah,
and it's
So that's the. I don't know that. Any other good tips on how to avoid getting scammed?
How to avoid getting fleeced?
Yeah.
If it's too good to be true, it's likely too good to be true.
Yeah.
I know that might seem silly because Brendan literally just said a story about how he got a watch that was too good to be true, but it was good. It was
And
real.
not only that how the deal went down was too
How
good
the
to be
deal
true.
went down
too.
also too good to
Sometimes
be true.
you do just get
Sometimes
lucky.
you get lucky.
Yeah.
But the likelihood of that is just so slim to none that honestly it is very, very unlikely for that to be like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think that wraps it up then.
It's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
So once again, Moda Group is the group that Tito is talking about. MODA GROUP. Go ahead. Do you have anything else to say, Tito? Closing remarks?
I have a quick question, and then I'll do my closing remarks. Bren, this one's for you. Have you ever had any transactions on Moda? I'm very curious.
I have.
You have?
I have. Yeah.
What was it?
You were very quiet about that.
Yeah, I did. I bought my Oris.
Oh, the PPX.
The PPX. I bought it off there for super cheap, like
Dude,
basically 50%.
It was
So how was your
absurd.
experience? How was your deal?
great, easy.
Would you recommend Moda?
I would, yes.
So I'm not insane.
No,
I'm not a
No.
scam.
no.
I'm not cheap.
No.
You are
Thank
cheap.
you. I am cheap, but
Well, I am cheap too.
I am
yeah.
cheap also.
at the end
So
of the
Moda
day,
is a good place.
yeah.
Yeah.
My closing
Moda.
remarks is, hey, these two guys right here, Jay, Brendan, and then our guests, myself, Michael, Nick. These are some great guys, and I really appreciate you guys having me on the podcast. Really appreciate your friendship. Jay is really the person who got me in. I mean, really all of us into the hobby and really
Keep this
helped
shit
us.
in the show. all right?
Exactly. So I just want to say thank you, Jay. I'm excited.
I
And
want the listeners
thanks
to hear
for
this.
having me on.
You're just gonna like put
Nick-
that on repeat.
Yeah,
Jay.
Yeah, I'm putting that shit.
I'll let Nick say goodnight to the
Yeah,
crowd.
you guys have any closing
Um,
remarks?
Everyone follows that Watchboy already, but if you haven't, that Watchboy YouTube, Instagram.
We'll
You
go
should.
Nick and then Michael.
Yeah.
And then that will be it.
I just want to say, if you're out there and you're thinking about buying your first nice watch, highly recommend the Omega Railmaster.
Nice.
I think it's slept on, but also, yeah, no, it's a great hobby to get into. I met most of these boys tonight, and here I am on this podcast. So if you're thinking about like buying a nice watch, just do it. And eBay's not the worst place to buy them. So
You know what? Yeah, you're young. You can declare bankruptcy once.
yeah, exactly.
And Michael, what do you got?
All right, to Jay and Brendan, thank you for having me on the podcast again. I look forward to being back. I have many stories.
Don't worry,
and
you
things
will
to-
because
to tell.
we're having another, I think, micro brand episode where a bunch of micro brand watches come in again.
And you gave a pretty good review, so
You were fucking
gotta get
killer.
that
They
guy
really
back
loved
on.
your
I'll-
shit.
the fans are saying, "Where's the Luscious Lips, Michael? We need him on the show."
You hear
By
that?
the way,
I'm here.
We call him Luscious Lips because he's got some
Some
fat PHAT lips.
Fuck!
All natural, baby. All
Bangers.
natural. No.
The lips on this man is gonna be on the Instagram notes.
and picture.
No
and
lip
picture of his
kits.
lip.
No
No
Kylie
fillers,
Jenner,
no nothing.
Pure
natural.
natural.
But in conclusion, I just want to say this whole watch hobby, this journey of collecting, it's a community. You meet great people like everyone around me currently as we are recording this podcast. And for anyone getting into the game, already in the game, a veteran in the game, there are always people and resources available to you. And I might regret this, but I probably won't. But anyone that hears this, you are more than welcome, honestly, to DM the ATX Watches official Facebook or Instagram. I am logged onto that account. If you have questions about anything, I will personally do my best to help you. You can also DM the business pages that I run, Archangel Authentics or Archangel Hype, or even Facebook message me because I don't hide behind aliases. You can find me on Facebook, Michael Asperas, Michel, last name Asperas, and I don't
What's your
exaggerate.
social security number? Give that. To me.
Let's not get that far. Let's not get that far. You can text me at 512-348-7454.
Wait, are we keeping that in? Is that for real?
Yes, that's for
We
real.
can keep that?
You can keep. That's my
Oh,
business number. That is
Someone's
Shit.
gonna write that on a bathroom wall on like a dive bar.
That's
But
okay.
then
Call
he's gonna,
this number for a fun time.
and then he'll just talk to him about watches.
Yeah.
But as you guys can see,
Is this a strictly business, or can we hit you up for other inquiries?
I'll entertain all, but let's
Damn!
be reasonable. Let's be
Jesus
reasonable.
Christ.
Let's be reasonable here. But yeah, just all jokes aside, I generally enjoy helping people with their watch questions, and even if it's no benefit to me as far as financials, you don't have to buy a watch from me. You don't have to buy a watch from the shop. We
Alright.
just get all true joy from being watch enthusiasts.
Alright.
you know what
Well-
I enjoyed was like seeing Mike's progression and learning, because I remember when he first joined, he really didn't know shit about vintage.
Mm-mm.
No, I'm serious.
No, I did.
And I remember that, and like seeing it now
Now he's a
he
master.
knows
Yeah,
what's up. Yeah, like I feel like I could actually talk to him about vintage.
That's awesome.
I'm the annoying watch collector that calls everything by reference numbers now.
Yo,
It's great.
I was that for the longest time, and I don't do that anymore because I'm not in vintage. But that's good.
Well,
For me, man, that's it.
yeah. Well, thanks for listening. Take
Hey,
it easy.
See you guys next time. Bye.